Right now, someone with less talent, less strength, and less truth than you is being listened to more, not because they're better, but because they understand one law of power. Silence controls more than words ever can. This video will show you how the few who master silence command everything. 1. The hidden source of power. Machiavelli understood something that most people still don't. Real power doesn't come from strength, status, or charm. Those things can fade overnight. Strength weakens with age. Charm disappears when people stop being impressed, and popularity changes with the crowd. But strategy, the ability to think clearly when others lose control, endures forever. That's why the most powerful people in history were rarely the loudest or most emotional. They were calm thinkers who stayed 2 steps ahead while everyone else was busy reacting. The hidden source of power lies in perception, in how deeply you can see beyond the surface. When most people panic, you must stay still. When they get emotional, you must remain logical. Because the moment you can detach from emotion, you gain control over it. The one who stays composed when others are losing their balance automatically becomes their leader. That's not because he shouts the loudest, but because everyone starts looking to him for direction. Think of it like a chess game. The beginner reacts to every move. The master waits, watches, and calculates. He doesn't chase, he designs. That's what Machiavelli meant by real power. Not control through force, but through foresight. Power begins in the mind long before it shows in action. The one who can predict patterns, manage impulses, and act deliberately becomes untouchable. Emotional people destroy their own advantage. They speak too soon, reveal too much, and move without direction. But the strategic mind uses patience as a weapon. It waits until the right moment, and then strikes once, precisely. That single move carries more weight than 1,000 reactions. The hidden source of power is discipline. The discipline to think when others shout, to observe when others act, and to decide only when the time is perfect. When you learn to master your reactions, you master your reality. And that's when you stop being controlled by the world and start controlling it. 2. Mystery creates value. Human nature has a strange law. People don't chase what they understand. They chase what they can't figure out. The moment someone completely understands you, your actions, your thoughts, your emotions, you stop being interesting to them. You become familiar. And familiarity kills fascination. But when you hold something back, when you stay unpredictable, when you reveal only a small part of yourself, people's minds start to work over time. They begin to imagine, to wonder, to create stories about you. And in their imagination, you grow larger than life. Mystery is magnetic because the human mind hates uncertainty. It wants to know, to explain, to label. When it can't, it becomes obsessed. That's why mystery creates value. The less people can reach you, the more they start to assign meaning to your silence. Every small action becomes a clue. Every rare word feels important. Your distance becomes a mirror where people project their desires, fears, and fantasies. You don't need to explain who you are. You don't need to justify your choices. The moment you start explaining, you break the spell. You give people the full picture, and once they have it, they move on. But when you stay unreadable, calm, composed, and selective, they keep watching, guessing, wondering. You become unforgettable not because you said more, but because you revealed less. Look at how powerful figures, artists, And leaders use this principle. They don't post every thought. They don't reveal every plan. Their silence makes people talk for them. Rumors, curiosity, and imagination build their myth far more effectively than words ever could. Mystery doesn't mean being fake or distant for no reason. It means being intentional with your presence. Show enough to spark interest, but never enough to satisfy it. Because what people can't define, they can't control. And what they can't control, they start to respect. When your silence becomes their question, your value multiplies. 3. The psychology of scarcity. Human beings are wired to desire what they can't easily have. It's a psychological rule as old as time. When something is rare, it feels precious. Where something is everywhere, it becomes invisible. This is the psychology of scarcity. The more available something is, the less people value it. That's why diamonds, time, and attention hold such high worth. Not because they are magical, but because they are limited. Now apply this truth to yourself, your time, your words, your emotions. They are your most valuable currency. If you give them freely to everyone, people begin to take them for granted. They stop listening deeply, stop appreciating your presence, and stop respecting your boundaries. But when you ration your attention and energy, when you choose carefully where you invest them, you instantly increase your value. People notice that access to you isn't guaranteed. It must be earned. Think about it. A message from someone who's always online feels ordinary, but a message from someone who rarely replies feels meaningful. Why? Because rarity adds weight. When your presence becomes selective, your absence starts to speak louder than words. It makes people realize that your time is not free. It's something worth working for. This doesn't mean being cold or arrogant. It means understanding that what's rare becomes respected. You control how others treat you by showing how much you value yourself. If you treat your time like it's endless, others will waste it. If you protect it like something sacred, others will handle it with care. The same applies to emotions and energy. Don't give emotional access to everyone. Keep your reactions measured and your feelings selective. Because when people see that you're calm, your words and your presence are not easy to get, they start paying with something valuable. Attention, caution, and respect. Scarcity creates gravity. It pulls others toward you without chasing them. The less you offer, the more they want, because what's truly rare in this world is self-control. 4. Restraint is sovereignty. Power doesn't always come from speaking louder or moving faster. It often comes from holding back. In every conversation, the first to react gives away control. The one who rushes to explain, defend, or prove themselves becomes predictable. But the one who stays calm and silent, who waits, observes, and chooses when to act, holds the real power. Reaction is surrender. Restraint is command. When you react instantly, emotion takes control. You speak from impulse, not strategy. You reveal your thoughts, your weaknesses, and your fears without realizing it. But when you pause, even for a few seconds, you shift the balance. That small delay creates tension. It makes others question what you're thinking, what you'll say next, or whether they've gone too far. Silence becomes your invisible weapon. It speaks louder than words ever could. Every pause, every moment of self-control builds authority. In arguments, silence makes the other person fill the space. And in doing so, they often reveal more than they should. In negotiations, patience makes others lower their guard, trying to break your calm. And in life, Emotional control gives you the power to steer situations instead of being swept away by them. But because your gravity leaves them no choice, that's real influence, not chasing power, but becoming the kind of person power naturally revolves around. 5. Withhold to control. Power doesn't always come from speaking. Sometimes it comes from holding back. The more you explain yourself, the more you give people the power to question you. When you justify your choices, you hand others the permission to decide whether your actions were right or wrong. You put your confidence in their hands. That is why true power often hides behind silence. When you don't explain, you create mystery. People start wondering why you said nothing, what you're thinking, and what your next move might be. Their curiosity becomes your control. They fill in the silence with their own imagination, and imagination is far stronger than any explanation you could give. Every time you defend yourself, you lower your position. It tells the world that you care about being understood, that their opinion matters to you. But the powerful don't seek understanding. They seek results. They don't ask for permission. They act. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means mastery. It shows that you're confident enough in your choices that you don't need to explain them. You don't need approval, validation, or applause. You trust your judgment more than the noise of others. The moment you stop over-explaining, people start respecting your boundaries. They realize that your decisions are not open for debate. Your words become rare and therefore valuable. Each silence becomes a wall that protects your mind and energy from unnecessary influence. When you withhold, you control the flow of information. And in every power game, the one who controls information controls everything. So, don't rush to explain. Don't try to make everyone understand your path. Let them wonder. Let them talk. Because when you can stay silent in the face of curiosity, criticism, or doubt, that's when you truly hold the upper hand. Your silence becomes your armor. Your mystery becomes your power. And your control begins the moment you stop needing to be understood. 6. Make them orbit you. Power shifts the moment you stop chasing it. When you withdraw your attention, your energy, and your presence, something interesting happens. The world begins to adjust around you. People who once ignored you start to notice your absence. Those who took your presence for granted begin to crave it. You no longer move according to their pace. They begin to move according to yours. Every relationship, every interaction is an exchange of energy. Most people spend their lives trying to fit into others' rhythms, responding to texts instantly, explaining themselves, pleasing, adjusting, and proving. But the moment you stop doing that, you create imbalance. And imbalance creates gravity. Your stillness becomes magnetic. Your calm becomes control. When you withdraw, people start to mirror your behavior. They slow down their tone, watch their words, and try to read your silence. They wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, what you might do next. You've stopped being predictable. And unpredictability is one of the purest forms of power. You are no longer reacting to their world. You are building your own orbit, your own emotional climate, and they must adapt to it if they want to stay connected. You become the center of the interaction, and they revolve around your energy. This doesn't mean arrogance or coldness. It means composure. It means valuing your presence so highly that you no longer throw it around cheaply. You appear when it matters, speak when it counts, and move only when it serves purpose. That kind of discipline makes people respect your time and your silence. Control is not about holding others down. It's about holding yourself steady. When you are grounded in your own rhythm, people naturally tune theirs to match. The need for approval disappears, replaced by a quiet strength that draws everything toward you. You've stopped chasing control, and control has started chasing you. You've stopped orbiting others, and now they orbit you. That is the unseen gravity of power. 7. The discipline of distance. Real power often requires distance, not because you hate people, but because you value your energy too much to waste it. The higher your awareness grows, the quieter you become. You begin to see how most conversations are noise, how most arguments are ego, and how most attention is distraction. Power doesn't thrive in crowds. It develops in solitude. That's why isolation isn't loneliness. It's purification. It clears the mind, strengthens your focus, and sharpens your sense of purpose. When you start pulling back, people may misunderstand you. They might think you've changed or become cold. But in truth, you've simply raised your standard for what deserves your time. You stop explaining yourself. You stop reacting to every comment, every opinion, every invitation to drama. Your silence becomes proof that your energy has become too valuable to spend on anything meaningless. In this distance, your words gain power. When you do speak, people listen because your voice has become rare. Like a scarce resource, your attention now carries weight. Every sentence feels intentional, every action deliberate. You no longer need to prove anything because your calm presence already does. And here lies the paradox. In a world that worships noise and constant connection, your restraint becomes intimidating. Most people don't know how to handle silence. They fill it with chatter, seeking validation. But you stand still in it. You let your calm do the talking. That calm unsettles those who rely on attention to feel important. The discipline of distance teaches you emotional independence. You no longer depend on others to confirm your worth. You confirm it through your control. You become selective with your energy, guarded with your emotions, and strategic with your presence. Because when your energy becomes refined, you realize not everyone deserves access to it. And when you master distance, when you can walk away without anger, stay silent without fear, and observe without reacting, you no longer need to chase power. You are power. 8. The silence of kings. Real power doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't raise its voice or demand attention. It simply exists, and everyone can feel it. The strongest leaders, thinkers, and rulers throughout history understood this truth. The loudest person in the room rarely has control. The quiet one, the observer, the thinker, commands respect without saying a word. Power doesn't shout. It waits. Silence is not emptiness. It's a statement. One that says, I do not need your approval to act. Every time you hold your silence instead of reacting, you build a throne within yourself. Every word you withhold becomes a symbol of restraint, confidence, and control. Words are easy. Silence is expensive. And the one who can remain silent when provoked has already won half the battle. Think of kings, generals, or wise leaders. They rarely waste words. Their pauses carry more meaning than others' speeches. Their calm makes people lean in, guessing their thoughts, measuring their reactions. That's the secret. Silence builds curiosity, and curiosity builds power. The less you say, the more people listen when you finally do. When you can walk away without arguing, You prove that nothing and no one owns your peace. You reveal that you are not desperate for validation or control, because real control comes from detachment. The person who cannot stay silent when challenged exposes their weakness. They need to be understood, to win, to prove something. But the one who can walk away without a word owns that moment completely. Silence is not about fear or indifference. It's about sovereignty, ruling your emotions, your words, and your energy. It's the mark of someone who knows their worth deeply enough to never waste it. In a world that mistakes noise for confidence, silence becomes royal. Every pause becomes a test of your strength. Every quiet decision becomes a crown you forge through discipline. And when you master the art of silence, you don't need to demand respect. It follows you naturally, like a shadow before a king. If this message resonated with the part of you that refuses to stay ordinary, don't just listen, act. Subscribe to Philo Foundry and join the minds who choose power over noise, discipline over exposure, and silence over validation. Because the world doesn't need more voices, it needs more presence.